Greetings. Anyone joining us? Yeah, it's a little bit late. Had a work situation earlier today. It's not the channeling, but the job, and just wipe me out. And just go in there and all hell breaks loose. Not to go into too much details of that. So anyway, we're here finally. Luckily, it's Friday or Saturday or whatever day it is. Some people think something's going to happen on the weekend. It could very well happen. Who knows? I guess we'll find out. Calamity, chaos. This world's really good at that. So, yeah, the political energies are getting kind of psychotic, but so obviously the queen is political and all that, and royal families and all that. So I felt the feline energies, the cat people. So they have like a little bit of royalty there. The dogs do too. Nothing like a cat. Dogs do the little dogs. There's some royalty there, no doubt about it. But the cats kind of take it to the next level. So you wonder where it all started, the royal families and all that. I know they throw the reptilian energies there. And yeah, that can be like, sit on a throne of snakes and, of a creature, in the swamps or something like that. Out, like in North Korea or something around those lines. But to pretty things up and make things a little bit nicer, you have more of a feline frequency. And there is a canine energy there too. But we're just focused on the feline energies of just a prima donna being sitting there on the throne and, all lush and comfortable and all of that. Like dogs can pretty much, they like comfort too, but they can sleep pretty much anywhere depending on the dog, I guess. Like cats are usually the ones. Of course, there are cats that need to sleep outside, but either way, yeah, it's just I feel like the canine does kind of pull away from all of that prissiness. But not to say all cats are prissies, but there's a lot of that going on. So I'll go into some of that energy. For humor reasons too, just to lighten things up a little bit. Jeez. And the Pleiadian North Star energies just tap into their energy, like protecting planets, suns, and things like that. That's not all of this is about, but our world has a lot of protection around it. A world like this would obviously imploded a long time ago, normally. In different circumstances, that shows you how strong the planet is. It's strong to handle all this. Obviously, there's other versions of Earth too. It's just, that's why we have the planets in our solar system. I would say Jupiter absorbs a lot of that heavy energy too. They all do, but Jupiter definitely pulls in quite a bit. We just haven't really seen it in our, we're not really understanding it all. Well, I think I spelled the wrong word right. But as for the cat beings, to go back to that, we don't really see that in culture. You see that. You see how people are treating their cats now. Like cat animals are becoming more a part of the family. Not that they weren't before, but now it's becoming more, because of the internet, it's showing how people take care of their animals, even farm animals and all of that. It's showing like these are people and they have feelings and all that. So, there's playing musical instruments for a cow and things like that. So, so we're going into definitely more of an understanding of what's here. And also the time traveling energies. Nice to tap into a time traveler once in a while, get their perspective. Doesn't mean it's going to be telling us the future. Then you do feel like the 24th or the 25th. Who knows? Just take us out of our misery. There might be. That's hard to say. This month there's a lot of shifts that have ignited more recently because of the Queen. That's part of it. We're going into a new direction, but it's not clear what that direction is just yet. Does it matter? Just as long as you keep your sanity, that's all that matters. Sanity matters a lot. Other than that, we'll see what happens. Okay, all right. So I have a ton of comic prep sessions. We have the scheduler. We have the shop here. I forget where I'm at, but it's here. I'm in the middle of. I didn't have much energy today. I try to answer some stuff tomorrow. Same situation here. We have the social network webinar tomorrow. The other social network and behind the scenes, the first social network. This one's going really well, actually. For sure, it has its niche, but it's going really good. Really glad about it. And so, obviously, you start here. And you got, this is a funny one. It's like, oh, look at me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Kind of look. Yeah, that's kind of messed up. Yeah, it's pretty decent. That's kind of like, I'm going to kick somebody's ass. Look, looks like kind of like a Duke energy there. I mean, there's a lot of stuff here. There's a lot of royalty. There you go. Royalty. And then you got the idea. I mean, it's not a whole lot for it right now. But it looks kind of, I mean, this is just, I don't know if they have like a one in. I don't know if they have that. Kind of. Yeah, the canine or the dog. The canine. Let's see if there's anything there. Nope, that's dog food. But the dog, royal. Yeah. And you got some stuff here. Yeah, come on. But nothing like the cats. I mean, you got stuff here and there. Oh, there's some stuff here. There you go. There's some, yeah, that's still a lighter energy. The cats are like, damn, don't mess with the cats. But this is more, what the hell's going on there? Yeah, come on. It's like, come on. Of course, there you go. So, see, look at that. The cat invades. I'm looking for dogs and cat shows up. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah. See what I mean? So, yeah. It's going to be kind of an idea. I mean, it might look like it's funny. I mean, it is, but it's kind of like, take our environment and you put cat people instead, or dog people for that matter. Like the cleanliness, the prestige energy that has a lot of cat food. Like I said, canine has the same thing, but it's a little bit different though. Let's see, the cats like yes, I do feel the sword fighting like we have here. Cat people with that too, but also the canines. It's the same with both of them basically. And you go on with rabbits and look at the rabbit royal families. I'm not going to do that. Well, wait, I'm kind of curious now. Let me look at it real quick. Let me see if there's anything there. Well, that's a little bit unexpected. Take a look at that real quick before we move on. So yeah, the rabbit, that's a little bit innocent of a damn. Like, I guess it's a halo over there. Like, damn. Something's going on there. There you go. What else is there? Damn. I don't know what this is. Some kind of TV show or something. The Rabbit Royal. Interesting. On TikTok or somewhere. Jeez. I mean that stuff might look like it's for fiction and all that, but it kind of gives you a little bit of an idea what's out there or who's here for that matter. Okay, yeah, the rabbit one that was different. So, and having psychotic time traveling rabbits, and that actually I could tap into that for the time traveling frequency. Okay, all right, we're going to the felines. So a feline perspective, also what we're going through, and even a Pleiadian perspective of that also, but also anything they have to say. And I did a time traveling rabbit for this one too. See where that goes. You know, the Darny Darko type of bizarreness. God, is that fucking weird. So okay, all right, blessings. Greetings. We are the Lyrans. There is, yes, within the feline races a royal, a level of royalty, similar, actually more restrictive than on your world, of how to look, how to act, and it's worse because it's to keep ourselves protected. And you notice that even in your royal families, they act a certain way, procedure, to have a certain way of life. For a feline's perspective on your world, it is cracking open, but not as quickly as some would like, of course. There is still a great deal of distrust within the royal families, meaning that they like the lifestyle, but they don't like each other. With a feline race, that's the same with our races also. Usually they end up just tearing each other apart. I mean, why just, it's almost like taking two people, put them in a locker room and just kick each other's ass. There are worlds that do that, but the ones that hold back on showing their feelings, of course, in your world they're showing feelings, but still, it's not really showing it. It's a lot of backstabbing instead. And then did you see it, of course, but also people are seeing it in their own families. Obviously, even with your common people, they have a type of royalty energy within themselves, which there's always somebody in the family that causes chaos within the family itself, like a grandmother, whoever it might be, that just wants to rattle everyone's cages. And there are walk-ins that do come into an elderly person or whoever it might be to do this, to shake things up, to test people. As you become more aware of this, is less likely to happen. You know, people being possessed by and aliens, demonic energies, and so even psychotic walk-ins. That's not really part of your society just yet, but it can be. Meaning, so they become more aware of it. It's like families kind of like readjust themselves. Like, oh, so that's why Aunt Margaret was a psychopath. I mean, it's one way for it. It depends on society here. That's the families. It's keeping the world together, but also tearing it apart at the same time. And look at the roles. Also, the roles are like on your world is like a reflection of society itself. So if they're going through that, obviously many people are going through it themselves. And the royal family begins to fall apart, which will not be a bad thing. Then a lot of the lies and everything starts to spread out, which is to a certain level, but not as far as it could go. For feline beings, we're just very particular on taste, what we eat, what we look, how we look, how we just treat each other. And that is here on your world. Obviously, there are beings here that feel like they can do anything. But the political climate here, at least in the United States, from a feline perspective, obviously has been hijacked. And it is showing its obvious cracks, but it's showing like the arrogance of your government over its people. At least it thinks it's over its people. Well, it knows it can't. The people can't do anything about it. But it will most likely implode over time. You can't continue like this forever. It's already showing its age. The feline frequencies that are here, many can tap into this. There's a lot of lions in London, the statues. So it shows there's the cat energy of presence, prestige. How do you act? Delicacy, attractiveness. That is the feline way. You can say it's a cover of the reptilian agendas in London, the British Empire, but also around the world. It's just with London, they really put on the feline frequencies to hide, like I say, the Anunnaki and all the other beings that are there. But this also comes back to Egyptian connections. As basic, even that feline cats are usually incognito. They're normally they're stealth beings. Practically, a dog wants to come up and say hello. How are you doing? Cats hide. So, and a lot of people here are like that too. Like you see the social environments that kind of think so. That's a cat reaction. Oh, it has to do with the energies of the crowd. Let's put it that way. And even the royals feel the same way. They get social anxiety too. But, due to the system they're put out in front of everyone. So a lot of them are going, a lot of your royals are kind of going crazy, waving at everybody. They've gotten used to it over time. It takes a long time to get used to that, especially all those eyes watching them. So, blessings. Greetings to you. We are the Pleiadians. Blessings. The reason why you have cat people or cat beings or cats in general on your world, yes, of course, you have the DNA of those, but also they're keeping an eye out for your planet, the cats here. Of course, the canines are also. But the canines do know, they're basically people on four legs. Of course, cats are too, but the canines are pretty much, the people's children. Truly, because they can understand you, they listen. They're really tailored to a four-legged child, done by design to truly help with the human experience here, as you all know. But the feline frequency here is also a protector energy of just cats when they get if they're on attack, obviously they attack. And there's a lot going on in your planet, of course. With the Pleiadian frequencies, with us being here, to soften the energies, we're all mixing together. You have the Syrians, you have the Arcturians, you have all these, obviously millions of different beings that are here actually. And we're all blending into each other's frequencies, which does cause difficulties here on your world, confusion. You're all from different places. Some of you are connected to certain collectives, of course, but still, it's still not always making complete sense. And our energies is just basically to soften the negativity here as much as possible. Obviously, it's up to the individuals to do that. We can only do so much from our end. As Pleiadian, our ships are in the skies every now and then to share our frequency, but we're only there for a short time. There are some Pleiadians that do. Their ships do show up for a while because they're working with the Earth's frequency. And obviously, in a place like India and even France, but also China, where the ships are less, quote, more seen in some places. And even Russia, actually. The Ukraine energy, but mostly Russia. The ships around your Ukraine are mostly just to heal the Russian frequencies. Of course, the Ukraine to heal that, but the Russia energies is kind of depleting their resources. Both sides are, but Russia is most likely going to go through a transformation eventually, or it will be recognized, but not as it is today. There is unity. Obviously, they have a lot of knowledge about your planet that they don't talk about. China does too. I call it conspiracy theories, but they do have, so we see eventually your government's opening up more eventually, but not just of everything, all of the myths, everything, Atlantean knowledge, because a lot of them have that. Obviously, they're not going to share it publicly as of yet. People, so some of your leaks of Atlantean knowledge, even some channelers that do come from the government, are it's because they pretty much they find potential and they they watch over it. And even some larger spiritual groups, some of that's government ran too. That's some without naming names. But us connected to the North Star. Well, we connect to different stars, star regions in your galaxy to send your world energy. Actually, to send energy protection to your world. Because yes, the farther we are from your planet, we can still hear what's going on, but we're a higher frequency, so you can send vibrations to your world because all worlds want your world to succeed. It's like if your world gets depleted and lost forever and just even destroys itself, that doesn't help anybody because there's knowledge here, so much here to learn. Obviously, people aren't always realizing what they're learning, but that's not always meant to be recognized. But it's just all these star beings are learning so a great deal of their darkness, also of their light. Yes, they come here as a drug addict, but then they change their ways and do good to the world. And especially with patience, longevities, those that feel like their lives are stuck. Sometimes it's stuck for a reason because you're waiting for a timeline to occur so you can have success and so on. So basically, the celebrities of your world, as you've already seen, or become more your common people, become more of the celebrities. Your everyday people becomes more of the celebrity, and the industry begins to break down. It's happening now, but not at the level as you would like to. Even like with actors that don't have the stardom of Hollywood, but are usually better actors than what you see in Hollywood. Just your average day person, and so on, along with other singers, talents, and everything. Where the world becomes more, I wouldn't call it common, but basically your normal person takes over your celebrity cabal system. That's what you're working towards. It's just not an easy route. Yeah, instead of having these millionaires walking around, the musicians and all that, it becomes more your everyday people. You're still doing well, but you don't have to flaunt all of this luxury where it was like, the value is spread among all of you. It's just a better world over its balance, basically. Right now, obviously, the world is completely unbalanced, but this is what you're working towards. It just basically where anybody can be anything, and even in those third world countries and all that will be healed. That's where the cabal frequencies work. That's where the lower dimensions are taking those hostage, and you have to be really, this planet has to be at a higher frequency to handle an energy like that. You can't just go one person trying to save the world. Nations have to save each other. It's just they're not in they're not in the place just yet, but you're working on it. Greetings. Greetings to you. Yes, you can say I'm a time traveling rabbit. There's probably another name for it. The Donnie Darko rabbit frequency. Of you are many of you come for specific reasons. And you don't have to be here for a long time. Yes, many of you are time travelers, but some of you are here for longevity, of course, because you're always shifting the frequencies, even causing your own Mandela effects to keep this world in some level of capacity. Because it is, many do get into the panic energy, fear, and feel like there's no point to it all. But obviously, when you continue on, the story continues where a lot of these beings, yes, the hidden energies becomes more known. The aliens, yes, are unwrapping themselves slowly here. They haven't quite shown themselves at their full capacity as of yet, but that's what you're here to do. You're basically unwrapping the human experience so you can connect more to your inner galactic experience, your inner galactic selves. And now that can also be a spiritual connection, astral connection, angel, uh, Agarthian. You're just unwrapping all of these layers that you've been taught, and you're already experiencing it now, but it's going to continue, even multiply. You'll see more elf beings, more and more people connected to nature. You're seeing it now, but it's going to once again multiply itself. And of course, basically for your common human to understand what they're seeing, even people, some with pointing little thing, the ears. I mean, that will become more commonplace eventually. That's like an evolution situation. But more people will look like elf people that be more accepted. You can be born with pointed ears if you wanted to, but of course, society is still having trouble with that. But some of you are just stubborn. It's like, I'm be born like an elf if they like it or not. And obviously, there are elf people here now. Just can you pick them out? And more of that vibration. And of course, you're hearing about in your media with the House of the Dragon and the Circle of Dragons or whatever it might be. It shows the Agarthian energies are strengthening, of course. No matter what you think of the material. I mean, those worlds aren't perfect. They have issues. And they're showing it. They're just showing they can have wokeness issues too. They're not perfect. But it's showing that the Agarthian energies are bringing more of their golden light here. And it's, they're hinting at what's here. They're sure they are working with the earth. So it's now become more popular, and it will continue to do so. So you're getting ideas through fiction of who is helping you. Eventually, one day, you'll have the Pleiadian or the Syrian or the Owl people, whoever it might be. The world's not quite ready to be that up front with it just yet, but you're working towards that. Like the Pleiadian energy, just those words being said on a world, stage, it really shows you're graduating to more of your ancestors, Andromeda, the feline energies. You're just going more back to your ancestors. It's like you're opening up the curtain and seeing what's behind it. So it's a slow stage production. There's many of you wanted to get the show on the road, we realize, but there's still a lot of building up. And that's the problem about it all. But you'll make it work in some way. You'll find a way to make it work.